Now at 9, the Crawford County Junior Leaders hold an annual pancake feed for the community. Plus, the Byers Avenue United Methodist Church hosted its annual soup and chili cook-off with a dessert auction. And
as the military recovers debris of the Chinese spy balloon, the Biden administration fends off criticism of how long it waited to take action. I'm Charles Watson in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. More details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Cale Chapman. Some Crawford County Junior leaders were preparing and serving breakfast for the community earlier today. KOAM's Yana Adela got a look inside the event in Girard and talked with organizers and volunteers.
The pans are staying hot for several hours as Crawford County Junior leaders are preparing and serving pancakes, eggs, sausage, and beverages at their 37th annual pancake feed.
It is a yearly fundraiser that we do that goes to help support youth activities for the youth that are putting it on. They make the food, they prepare it, they serve it, they do all of it. The sauces that they're actually serving today, we made yesterday by hand. So they mix the meat, stuffed it in the casing, and cooking it up today.
These 13 to 18-year-old 4-H members provide leadership and skills for the young members and put together different events. Gavin Huber participates by cooking some pancakes outside.
Perfect.
He's excited they get to have the event in person as they have been selling sausage the previous years during the COVID pandemic.
It's a lot nicer because more people can come out that way and you just get to see more people. It's a lot more fun and you get to hang out with kids your age all day.
Huber also participated by making sausages the day before.
Pretty good sausage recipe that we've used for 37 years now, I guess. And I think everybody's just happy to be able to come in and sit down and eat this year.
The group expects to go through over 300 eggs and serve most of the 150 pounds of sausage they made.
A lot of them, are getting some great communication skills building, some leadership. Being a waiter or waitress is kind of a hard thing. So they're learning to do that in a very relaxed manner that, one day when they go off to college, they may get a part-time job.
In Girard, Yana Adela, KOAM News.
The fundraiser helped support activities that members will have in the future. The Byers Avenue United Methodist Church in Joplin hosted their annual soup and chili cook-off with a dessert auction today. Participants could submit their recipes to one of 4 cook-off categories: plain Jane chili, hot and spicy chili, unique chili, or soup, as well as enter a dessert to auction off to other attendees. The event goal was to bring the congregation together as well as raise funds for God's Resort.
Yeah, so our chili cook-off and dessert auction is just one of those fun events that we do as a church, and it's open to anybody. But what we do is we raise money, especially through our auction with desserts, and that money this year is going to God's Resort Community Center, and so we just have a partnership with them and really enjoy the time we can spend with them.
The cook-off and auction were open to the whole community. The Elements Art Gallery and Studio in Joplin hosted a fused glass class today. The class was held by artist Valerie Ockert. Participants could solo or do it as a couple to make their fused glass art. The only thing attendees needed to bring was their creativity.
The creativity, my creativity, my students' creativity, it's amazing. You come in to do a class thinking that you're going to have to tell everybody what to do, but you get here and everybody knows what they want to do already. It just unleashes their own personal creativity.
The Elements Art Gallery has events and exhibits all year long. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now for a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Caleb. It was a beautiful day across the area. Lots of sunshine and the winds died down, which was a great relief. Radar right now is clear, but that's going to be changing over the next couple of hours. Over the last 36 hours, we were in the 50s yesterday. Then we dropped down into the 30s this morning, but we made it up into the 60s this afternoon. So a very pleasant February day. We're going to see temperatures dropping through the 40s tonight and actually increase as we go towards the rush hour with a low of around 39 degrees. The winds are going to be dying down tonight, but they're going to be coming back tomorrow with a vengeance, with wind speeds by tomorrow morning around 30 miles per hour. And then by afternoon, we could see wind speed gusts up to around 50 miles per hour, especially in southeastern Kansas. And looking down the lane, we have a windy Monday ahead, a rainy Tuesday, and also a rainy Wednesday and maybe some snow on Friday. I'll have all the answers coming up.
One of the 5 teens found guilty in the Central Park jogger case is running for office. Yusef Salam announced high candidacy yesterday in Manhattan. Salam and 4 others, all teenagers, were convicted in the case in 1990. Salam was released in 1997, and the district attorney in Manhattan later vacated his conviction along with the convictions of the other 4 defendants. Salam is now running for office for a seat on the New York City Council. Efforts continue off the coast of South Carolina to recover the Chinese spy balloon that was shot down yesterday. While the military works, the Biden administration faces new questions on why they waited so long to take action. Fox News correspondent Charles Watson has the story.
The president failed on this one. Should have been a lot more transparent, should have taken action a lot sooner and gotten it done.
President Biden facing heavy criticism for his handling of the Chinese spy balloon that spent days traveling across U.S. airspace. The balloon was shot down by a fighter jet Saturday off the coast of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Biden says he wanted to shoot it down sooner, but under advisement from the Pentagon chose to wait until it was over water to prevent injuries on the ground.
We should have shot this balloon down over the Aleutian Islands. We should never have allowed it to transit the entire continental United States.
Republican lawmakers say the decision to wait sent the wrong message to China, which continues to insist the balloon was being used for weather research. After it was shot down, Beijing released a statement calling the U.S. response, quote, an overreaction and a serious violation of international practice.
This is all about China poking at us. This is all about China testing the American resolve.
President Biden is also facing pressure from Democrats who want to know more about the balloon and its surveillance capabilities. On Sunday, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced the Senate would be getting a briefing on the balloon later this month.
I would use 2 words in answering these GOP criticisms. They are premature and they are political. Our friends are playing politics with U.S. intelligence.
Several ships are taking part in the operation, but it's unclear how long it will take the military to recover balloon debris from the Atlantic. In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Charles Watson, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes its time to honor another 4-state hero. Kyle Jones began his service in the U.S. Army in 2006 and continues to serve today. The Fort Scott, Kansas native toured in Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as serving as a combat engineer at Fort Riley. Jones has been awarded several medals for his service, including the Army Commendation Medal. To Sergeant Kyle Jones, we salute you, our 4-state hero. And coming up, we'll take a look at a new study that says sleeping pills may increase the risk of dementia. A new study finds taking sleep medication might increase the chances of dementia among some people. Researchers from the University of California studied the data of roughly 3,000 elderly people, averaging 74 years old, for 9 years. The volunteers in the study didn't have dementia but consumed sleeping pills, and analysts found that 20% of participants developed dementia, with the higher number among white people. Researchers said white volunteers had a 79% higher risk of developing the disease compared to black volunteers and others in the group who rarely or never consumed sleeping pills. A concerning new report has found an increasing number of Americans below the age of 40 are having heart attacks and strokes. Dr. Laxmi Mehta, the Director of Preventative Cardiology and Women's Cardiovascular Health at the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, says most young adults mistakenly believe heart disease only happens in older people. The medical center took a survey of 2,000 Americans. It found nearly half of those under the age of 45 believed they were not at risk of developing heart disease, and almost a third of the respondents said they're not confident they would even know if they were having a heart attack. Meteorologist Sam Lane is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, we'll take a look at how some fans are preparing for the Super Bowl with an NFL experience.
Boy, what a beautiful day across the 4 states with temperatures in the 60s and light winds and lots of sunshine. I think everyone had a chance to get out and enjoy it. And if you didn't, it's still a pretty nice evening out there in Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty nice night, as well as across the entire 4-state area. In fact, we made it up to 63 degrees today, which was only 6 degrees from the record high set back in 1963 of 69, so that felt pretty good. Way above the normals of 47 and 26. Of course, nowhere close to that 1 degree back in 1979. Radar is all clear tonight, and it's going to stay that way for about the next 24 hours. But then we're going to start to see some showers move into our forecast. You can see a big storm system now starting to get organized over the Intermountain West, and then another storm system behind that, and yet another storm behind that one. So we have several of them lined up, ready to make their move towards the 4 states. But until then, pretty nice conditions. Right now it's 45 in Joplin, east wind at 3, feels like 45. The dew point's still dry at 29, but that's going to start coming up on those south winds tomorrow, and the pressure is currently steady. Temperatures are generally in the 40s, a few 30s thrown in, like Pittsburgh with 38 and Stockton with 36, but generally everyone else in the 40s, still close to 50 in Independence right now with 46 degrees. In fact, we're about a couple of degrees cooler tonight than we were last night, but we're going to be seeing warm conditions again tomorrow. Rain chances are going to be nil for at least most of the day tomorrow, but then as we head towards tomorrow night into early Tuesday morning, that's when the rain chances really start to increase across our area. Let's break it down for you. We're going to see maybe a sprinkle or two by early tomorrow morning, but not really. We're going to see lows generally in the upper 30s to lower 40s across the area. Then tomorrow, the wind machine is going to kick back on with gusty south winds and highs in the mid-60s, approaching 70 in some places way down to the south. But notice, here's a cold front, and it's going to be sweeping across the area as we go through Monday night into Tuesday, bringing with it scattered showers and storms, and maybe even mixing with some snow way up to the north and west as we go into Tuesday. And then Tuesday, most of it will all be rain and could be heavy, especially to the east and southeast with temperatures in the 40s. So it'll be kind of a raw day with those temperatures and rainfall. And then by Wednesday, the storm system moves away, winds turn around to the north, and we start to drop back into the 30s. How much rain? Well, most of the heavy rain is going to be to the south and east, where they could pick up almost 2 inches, like let's say over near Branson, 1.5 inches in Pineville and Cassville, lesser amounts as you go further to the north and to the west. Unfortunately, southeast Kansas is going to be on the dry side on this one, and they definitely need the rainfall. Here's a look down the road. You can see the big storm system on Tuesday. Notice that system comes by on Wednesday, but notice we have another system that's going to be dropping down into the cold air on Friday. So you know what that means, a return to winter. In fact, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Cloudy tomorrow, windy, rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, then maybe some late snow on Thursday into Friday, and then we start to clear out on Saturday with yet another chance of rain next Sunday. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster this week.
Yeah, I might need to pack the umbrella.
And the snow boots and so forth.
Just about anything you can think of.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, thank you, Sam. Coming up, why an airplane in Texas was forced to abort landing to avoid colliding with a Southwest Airlines jet. A close call at Austin Bergstrom International Airport is raising concerns about overall safety. Saturday morning, a FedEx cargo plane was forced to abort a landing because another plane was taking off from the same runway. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has the details.
A FedEx Boeing 767 cargo plane was attempting to land at Austin Bergstrom International Airport Saturday morning, but it had to reverse course to avoid hitting a plane operated by Southwest Airlines that was cleared to take off on the same runway. Fortunately, the FedEx Express flight from Memphis to Austin was able to circle the airport and safely land after that close encounter. The incident is now under investigation by the NTSB and FAA. Also, this comes just a day after 2 planes clipped wings at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey. One of those planes was full of passengers. A United Airlines Boeing 757 was parked at a gate waiting for departure when its left wing was clipped by the right wing of a plane that was being towed to the next gate. The tip of one of the wings on those 2 planes snapped off during the incident. Fortunately, there were no injuries and the passengers were able to deplane as normal. Now, Saturday's incident in Austin is the latest of a string of these near collisions. On January 18th, a JetBlue plane at New York's JFK Airport that was preparing to take off hit the tail of another JetBlue plane.
It's apparent somebody on the ground wasn't doing their job properly. My gut feeling is it's probably one of those wing walkers, but unfortunately, the captain has the ultimate responsibility for his airplanes.
Fortunately, no one was hurt in that incident either. Again, these near collisions are under investigation by the NTSB and the FAA. Reporting in Los Angeles, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Southwest Airlines is reportedly reducing the minimum requirements it sets for hiring pilots. That, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal. The newspaper says Southwest requires applicants for its pilot positions to have spent at least 1,000 hours flying jets and other turbine-powered planes. But the Journal says Southwest will be considering candidates with fewer hours. The airline says the change is still in line with FAA requirements. It will reportedly take effect on Tuesday. Up next, how a popular social media app gave a California woman the surprise of a lifetime. A San Diego woman is getting a new functioning wheelchair, all thanks to thousands of TikTokers. Natalie Chuck reports.
I look great? Danica Whitsitt has a laugh that's contagious. But even some of the happiest people hit a breaking point. This was her plea to the internet for help. Whitsitt was in a car accident in Arizona in 2018 that left her paralyzed from the waist down. She is still using the same wheelchair she got 5 years ago, and it's not as good as it once was. Tell me what some of the biggest problems are with it.
Yes. Okay, so these are the lawnmower tires. My backrest is barely hanging on and it's not stable.
For years, Whitsitt has been fixing the problems herself. A new chair will cost about $5,200 after insurance.
Sometimes you can't do it alone.
Reluctantly, she posted the video and created a GoFundMe. By the next morning, she hit her goal of $5,000.
I just remember feeling so thankful.
But the support didn't end there. Her TikTok was shared repeatedly, getting more than 140,000 views, and more than $20,000 were donated.
I started actually crying happy tears, and I was like, I don't understand.
In my head, I just thought, Danica cannot go through those things.
Kelsey Ledesma is one of the 1,300 people who donated. She spent 15 years in a wheelchair she says was falling apart and causing her internal bleeding. What were you feeling when you saw the number in donations just start climbing?
I was so happy because yeah, she needs the chair, but there's so many other things that could benefit her.
And with this platform on social media, both women hope it will spark change.
Number one, wheelchairs should not be as expensive as they are. Number two, I feel like insurance should not be as big of a hassle.
We've got 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, why authorities are getting involved in a feud between two Texas neighbors. Now that Republicans are in control of the House, committee investigations are heating up. This week, 3 former Twitter executives are set to testify before the House panel about the tech giant's role in suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story. Fox Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram has the latest.
The hearing centers on the most famous or infamous laptop in the world. Republicans contend the contents of the computer could be the linchpin to demonstrate possible influence peddling by the president at a hearing one day after State of the Union.
They will prove that Joe Biden was not truthful with the American people when he said he had no idea about his family's involvement in these shady business dealings.
The hearing will focus on what Republicans allege is social media bias and how they say Twitter suppressed the New York Post's initial story about the laptop. 3 former Twitter executives testify.
Be interested to see what the purpose of that is. It's a private media entity. If they want to run nothing but stories about Hunter Biden, they have the right to do it. If they don't want to run anything about Hunter Biden, they have the right to do that.
Biden World raised questions about the authenticity of the laptop and the news story for more than 2 years.
The media spent 2 years trying to push this narrative that this could be Russian disinformation. That's now collapsed. And the media is having an awfully difficult time with their role in this cover-up.
Hunter Biden's lawyers now aim to flip the script, demanding criminal probes of those who pushed the laptop story, even the repairman who Hunter Biden asked to fix his computer.
This whole thing reeks of retaliation, but it also looks like it's going off half-cocked.
Republicans aren't convinced about Hunter Biden's legal strategy and whether he concedes laptop ownership.
He's acknowledging now it is his laptop. So he was a little slower than
than the rest of the papers and Twitter and the others.
Twitter CEO Elon Musk met with McCarthy and Comer recently. Musk released information about how Twitter censored the laptop story to journalist Matt Taibbi. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now.
Thank you very much. It was a beautiful day across the area. Lots of sunshine, warm temperatures, and the winds calmed down too. Radar is clear right now, but that's going to be changing over the next 24 to 36 hours. Some areas could get quite a bit of rain. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Temperatures yesterday were in the 50s. Then we dropped down into the 30s this morning, but we quickly got up into the 60s this afternoon. In fact, we were pretty close to the record. Temperatures this evening are going to drop through the 40s all the way down into the upper 30s. And by morning, we're going to see those winds start to pick up once again, mainly out to the west with wind speeds over 30 miles per hour. But by afternoon, everyone should see winds generally around 40 miles per hour, maybe even some gusts close to 50 by afternoon. Looking down the lane, it's going to be a windy Monday, and then some rain moves in on Tuesday and Wednesday. And what about snow? Are you serious? Well, we'll talk about that in just a little bit.
An off-duty New York police officer was shot last night during an apparent botched robbery. Reports say the off-duty officer was in Brooklyn trying to buy a car through Facebook's marketplace sale exchange site. Police say the attempted sale may have been a robbery setup. The officer was shot in the head but managed to exchange fire with the robbery suspect. The officer is in critical condition at the Brookdale Hospital in Brooklyn. The mother of one of the victims killed in the 2018 mass shooting at Santa Fe High School was arrested after she took down her neighbor's Confederate flag. She calls it a symbol of hate and oppression. And as Erica Simon tells us, the feud between the neighbors has been going on for years.
Aquí estamos y no los vamos. And for you over there that are watching from that property, bilingually challenged, we're here and we're not going anywhere. Thank you.
You don't need to be hollering at them.
Just over the one over
screaming and hollering.
It didn't take long for tensions to boil over in Santa Fe Friday. That exchange happened in the middle of a news conference held to discuss the flag hanging from the Turrentine family's fence.
When they walk out, they see this big red flag. Now, some people say this doesn't stand for racism, but a lot of people think it does stand for that very thing.
They are Rosie Giannis's 80 and 90-year-old parents who Rosie takes care of. She says their neighbor intentionally flies the Confederate flag on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays and makes sure they all see it. Giannis has been dealing with a lot of changes and grief. Not only is she now a caregiver, her son Chris Stone was one of the 10 killed in the mass shooting at Santa Fe High School in 2018.
He waited for me to come out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on my way to my brother's, puts that flag up and tells me Merry effing Christmas on the first Christmas after I lost my son. And you're gonna tell me that I don't have a right to do something? I do everything I can to keep the peace, but you know what? A person can only take so much.
When Giannis took the flag down last week, she was arrested for trespassing and resisting arrest, which she feels was unjust. So does her attorney and community leaders who are standing by her.
We demand an apology, not only from this officer, but from the police department that condones this.
Ronnie, the flag owner's brother, says the flying of the Confederate flag has nothing to do with skin color, at least for his family.
It has nothing to do with racial. I was in the military, the Marine Corps, and some of my best friends there was Spanish people.
In addition to an apology from the Santa Fe Police Department, Giannis's attorney is asking for the Justice Department to investigate and for the district attorney's office to drop the charges against his client.
I just hope that this could get cleared up, everybody live at peace, and she would just keep her thoughts in her mouth to herself.
Still ahead, why experts are saying that AI technology might help the job market.
Well, friends, we had a beautiful day across the area, lots of sunshine and lighter winds. In fact, we saw temperatures rising into the 60s this afternoon. Right now, outside in Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino Resort, pretty nice night shaping up down there. In fact, we were only a few degrees away from the record high today. We set it up at 63. The record was 69 back in 1963. Thank goodness we weren't near that record low of 1 back in 1979. Radar is clear right now, but that's going to be changing over the next 24 to 36 hours as we're watching a storm system getting organized over the Rocky Mountains right now. That will start to affect our area late tomorrow night into Tuesday. And then yet there's another storm system behind that one and a one behind that. So we have a parade of storms to go through over the next week or so. Right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 45 degrees with an east wind at 3, dew point's 29, and the pressure is currently steady. Temperatures are down in the 30s in Pittsburgh where it's 37, but generally everywhere else is in the 40s, 46 in Independence, 42 in Welch, 42 also for our friends down in Jay. And temperatures are generally around 0 to 5 degrees cooler tonight than they were last night at this time, but still not too bad for February. Rain chances are going to be nil for quite a while, but then tomorrow evening, that's when they really start to jump up, and that will continue right on through most of Tuesday into Wednesday. So breaking it down for you, we're going to see winds tonight coming around to the south and east with lows generally in the upper 30s to lower 40s. And then as we go towards the morning rush hour, temperatures are actually going to increase on those strong south winds. And by tomorrow afternoon, we'll see highs in the mid to upper 60s, especially out towards the west. But notice, here's a cold front, and that's going to slide through our area as we go through overnight tomorrow into Tuesday morning with scattered showers and storms developing around that, with temperatures in the 30s up to the north and west on Tuesday morning, 40s elsewhere, and that front will kind of sag to the south, and waves of rain will come across our area on the day Tuesday. That will continue Tuesday night with a cold, chilly rain, and maybe switch over to some snow for our northwestern counties. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out, but it looks like most of the rain is going to stay liquid, and that's good news, or at least the moisture. Rainfall amounts are going to be heaviest down to the south and east, where they could pick up a couple of inches. Most areas to the north and west are going to see light amounts, especially up towards Yates Center. A little bit wider view shows the mild air is going to be shoved to the south as this storm system pulls out into the plains, and then as it does so, another system is going to drop in behind it, and that's going to interact with the cold air, and that means a chance of snow back in our forecast. Let's take a look at the next 7 days. Tomorrow, cloudy and windy, rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe some light snow on Thursday night into Friday morning, and then it clears out here in time for the next storm system to arrive late Sunday, and that continues right on into the early part of next week, including Valentine's Day. So, looks like a little bit of active weather this week.
Yeah, we get a survey, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you. Coming up, how sports fans are preparing for the Super Bowl next weekend. But as we go to break, here's a look at local college baseball and softball scores from this afternoon. We are just a week away from Super Bowl 57, and the two teams facing off in the big game, the Kansas City Chiefs, seen here on the left, and the Philadelphia Eagles, seen here on the right, arrived in Phoenix today. The Super Bowl will take place at State Farm Arena in Glendale. Football's crowning jewel moment has traditionally become the most watched television event of the year. About 100 million people are expected to tune in. The eyes of the sports world are on the Valley for the next week as Super Bowl 57 comes to town. But the weekend before the fun is already underway. From the Super Bowl experience in downtown Phoenix, Lauren Clark reports.
The energy is electric at the Phoenix Convention Center.
All the things are so fun here. I don't know what to pick.
With fans kicking off the football festivities at the first day of the NFL experience.
I win the sports.
Dubbed as a kind of NFL theme park, families are able to get a behind-the-scenes look at the game of football. With displays, merchandise, and tons of interactive games for the kids. Young fans can run, throw, catch, even suit up in gear. But don't think all the fun is just for the boys.
Girls can do anything, and it's not just a boys' sport.
The excitement of it all, overwhelming for kids like Dylan who don't even know where to start.
Kick, and then like the other games down there, like more field goal kicks, and then the ping pong.
There's also historical pieces of football lore to see, including Super Bowl rings, helmets, and replicas of players' lockers.
Just having a really nice time here.
Not to mention the photo posing props and footballs for sale.
I love football.
A thrill for ASU Japanese exchange students who got to soak in the glory of the American sport firsthand.
Such thing like here in Japan, so it's kind of cool. Since America, it's pretty different than in Asia.
And a perfect way to prep for when the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs head to the field.
It is a long and sometimes dangerous journey for Mexican avocados destined to become guacamole in the United States during the Super Bowl season. The roads are so dangerous, filled by drug cartels, common criminals, and kidnapped gangs, that state police provide escorts for trucks carrying avocados on the 40 miles trip to packing and shipping plants in the city of Uruapan. Mexico supplies about 92% of U.S. avocado imports, sending over $3 billion worth of the fruit every year. Coming up, what experts are saying about new AI robots and how that will affect your job. Recent artificial intelligence tools appear to be able to do what humans can, and faster. But that means some people could be out of a job. However, AI experts say the technology will actually create a large number of employment opportunities. Vanessa Yurkovich reports.
Which jobs is AI coming after first?
If you're a middle manager, you're doomed. Any kind of commodity salesperson, report writers and journalists, accountants and bookkeepers, and oddly enough, doctors who are who specialize in things like drug interactions.
Do you mean out of a job,
No.
or you mean that part of your job?
That part.
Okay.
That's the relief a lot of Americans are looking for right now. The explosion of ChatGPT, an AI platform, showed us it could do a lot of what we humans do at work and faster.
Will it take my job?
Yes and no. It's not going to replace you. Someone who knows how to use it well is going to take your job, and that's a guarantee.
By 2025, the World Economic Forum predicts that 85 million jobs will be displaced by automation and technology, but it will also create 97 million new roles. We've seen it before in the auto industry.
While the auto worker may be displaced because they are not as good at welding or as painting as the robot, there's probably 35 people that have to be involved in the creation and maintenance of that device that welds better than a person.
And that's what happened at Carbon Robotics. Former auto workers now building an AI laser weeder in Detroit for farms.
It's a direct result of the history of auto manufacturing that we have that skill set available to us all in one place.
The laser weeder, still operated by a human but run by AI, can do the work of between 40 to 80 people, says the CEO, filling roles that are hard to find humans for.
Labor is harder and harder to find every year, particularly farm labor. And an AI system like ours that can do that job automatically saves a lot of time, money, effort.
This music is composed solely by artificial intelligence called Ava. It even has an album you can stream. AI music is more affordable. There's no producer, composer, or artist to pay.
It's taken away opportunity from songwriters, producers, and artists, right? So the people are trying to feed them for their families.
Something similar is happening in the art world, leading artist Kara Ortiz and 2 others to file a class action lawsuit against 3 AI art companies for copyright infringement. Ortiz claims they're using her name and art to train the AI.
It's feast and famine for most of us. We go job by job. And what happens when there's a little bit less work to go around?
Stability AI, one of the companies named, says the suit misunderstands how AI and copyright law work, adding it intends to, quote, defend ourselves and the vast potential generative AI has to expand the creative power of humanity. The 2 other companies did not respond.
I never thought we'd be here. It's like straight out of a sci-fi movie.
My father tried to teach me human emotions.
There's a wonderful scene in the movie I, Robot. Detective Spooner hates robots. And he says,
"Can a robot write a symphony? Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece?"
And the robot looks up and he goes,
"Can you?"
Every one of us is not Mozart or Rembrandt or Picasso or choose your super famous, amazing artist or artisan. We're just people. This is not coming to kill us. It's coming to help us.
ChatGPT is acquiring new users faster than the most popular apps. UBS says the popular chatbot is estimated to have reached 100 million monthly active users in January, only 2 months after its launch. The artificial intelligence-powered text tool can produce cognate answers to virtually any question in seconds. It launched for public use in December. Up next, how a 9-year-old is already checking a huge milestone off his list. Imagine being 9 years old and you already hold a high school diploma. Well, that's the case for one boy from Pennsylvania. Barbara Barr introduces us to this already accomplished youngster and the people who helped him reach his goal.
I've never seen a 9-year-old graduate.
But that's just what 9-year-old David Balagoon has done, graduating from Reach Cyber Charter School in Harrisburg.
We're just proud that we're able to individualize his instruction.
They didn't bog me down. They also advocated for me, saying he can do this, he can do that.
David took classes remotely from his home in Bucks County. He loves science and computer programming.
I want to be an astrophysicist, and I wanted to study black holes and supernova.
David's parents have advanced degrees, but raising a young son with extraordinary intellectual gifts is challenging.
I had to get outside of the box. Playing pillow fights when you're not supposed to, throwing the balls in the house. Like, he's a 9-year-old with a brain that's just have the capacity to understand and comprehend a lot of concept that's beyond his years and sometimes beyond my understanding.
A member of Mensa, David credits a number of favorite teachers.
Mr.
He taught them a thing or two in just the few years it took him to get through the 12th grade.
David was an inspirational kid, definitely one who changes the way you think about teaching.
After completing a semester at Bucks County Community College, the family is now looking at colleges and universities across the country to try to find one that's just the right fit.
Am I going to throw my 9-year-old into Harvard while I'm living in PA? No.
Another tough question on this unique journey. But so far, David and those around him have come up with the right answers.
To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All you have to do is search for the KOAM News app.
And that comes in real handy when the weather is changing rapidly.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You get all of our weather updates there as well.
That's exactly right. And that's going to be the case this week as we head through the forecast. Tomorrow, windy and cloudy, and then rain moves in late tomorrow night into Tuesday, and that continues through Wednesday. And then on Thursday and Friday, we could actually have a chance of snow coming back into the picture, and then some showers next Sunday. And for Valentine's Day, unfortunately right now it looks like it's going to be a wet one out there. But you know, we are kind of heading towards spring, so we definitely need the moisture as well.
Well, there you go. That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of a black bear in Massachusetts taking a relaxing swim in a pond. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us a part of your night.